Hello everybody, my name is Sophie and welcome back to another video! New year, same hate. I hope everybody had a happy new year. Everybody had a great slide into the new year, as you say in Germany. And if you're watching this any other time, then when it's acceptable to wish someone a happy new year, I just hope you're having a great time. You know me. Let's address the elephant in the room. First, I got bangs. New year, no haircut. I'm not doing great. I got this haircut 2 days ago and I just wanted to switch it up. Also, January is my exam month, so I've been taking my exams this month, which is why I can't post as many videos, but I'm going to in February, just so everybody knows, so you're not wondering. I had my first exam already. I slayed it. I have my second one in a few days. I'm going to slay it. Don't worry about me. But I wish everybody great exams who's also taking their exams in January because it's a really busy time. Enough about me though. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about the first review that I'm going to do this year, which is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I had my members vote which book I should review because I read some during December. I had Check It Mate that I read, and then also my dark romance vlog that I did. I read a bunch of dark romance books. So I asked the book haters which review I should do first, and Twisted Love won. That's why we're sitting here today. I didn't make the decision, it was them. It was them. My members get my videos a day early. They also get exclusive polls such as my next reads or which review I should post next. They get a shout out on all my videos. They have exclusive stickers in the comments, peace and love, war and hate. I also get access to exclusive content such as my Ruby Red movie commentary. So if that's something you're interested in, consider becoming. I can't talk today, guys. I'm so scared. I don't know how long this is gonna take. You should consider becoming an official member of the Book Hater Club. My members are Haley B, Ashley Ranger B, Mrs. Preminger, Trinity, ELW, Clara S, Kushimita, Deja, Queen Sif, Courtney, Asteria, Haley Charles, Grace, Lacey Lace EDC, and my newest member, Sunny. Love you, thank you for joining. Mrs. Preminger commented under my review poll and said, please do Twisted Love, and it did win in the end, so your wish is my command, queen. Twisted Love is one of the books that I read in my dark romance video. That I did a reading vlog. I also read Hooked and I started on Haunting Adeline, guys. That review I'm literally keeping in the back of, like, in my back pocket or whatever you say. Like, this is like my, in German you say Ass im Ärmel, which means my ace up my sleeve. Do you say that in English? That's like really going to be a true, intense, angry, devastating rant when that comes out, but I think that's gonna come in February, guys. I can't wait to film that, but also I need to be in the right headspace, and I'm not right now with my exams. In the back of my head, I'm just doing like, whatever, crying. Before we talk about the book itself, Twisted Love, we're gonna talk about the author. I also always like doing deep dives on the authors, and I didn't do a deep dive this time, but I like doing it. There's just not much to say about the author. Her name is Anna Huang, as I mentioned, and she seems like a really nice person. Like, there's nothing, she's never been in any controversy, as far as I could tell. I googled Anna Huang controversy and nothing came up. And that's the extent of my research, but honestly, like, I truly don't have the time. I'm sorry. So I might be a little rusty in this review, right, guys? But you're gonna give me some grace, okay? I'm really trying to get back into a vlog, and I missed this because I don't have another outlet to let out all of my anger and fear and devastation that I have within me, other than these reviews, so I need to kind of vent and let it out so I can chill again. She's 32, she's a Pisces, and she is currently residing in New York City, as far as I'm concerned. And the most exciting thing that I want to mention about her is she's written a lot of books, right? She has a series that I forgot the name of that she wrote before the Twisted series, and then the Twisted series, which is the first book I read and we're gonna review today. And then she also did the King series with, like, the King of Wrath and Sloth. Who the fuck is gonna read that? King of Sloth just sounds very unappealing to me. Like, King of Wrath? Okay, slay, he's angry. King of Sloth? What's he doing? What's he gonna do? She announced yesterday or today, one of the days, I don't remember, that she's going to start publishing a new series this year. She's in her new era, new Anna Huang era, and I was curious to see what it was gonna be. Is it gonna be another dark romance book? No. Maybe, actually, I don't know. It's going to be a sports romance book. She's in her sports romance era, she said. And I wanted to mention it because I want to read it. I want to read it, guys. I'm so excited. No, that was a lie. I'm not excited, but I do want to read it because it's a sports romance. And when I think of sports romance from the American girlies, I always think of, because she is American, I think she has Chinese roots, but she lives in America. And you know what? I read it where she was born, but now I forgot. Doesn't matter. The point is she's definitely not from the UK. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because she's writing about football. More specifically for all of the American people watching, soccer. Soccer. She's writing about soccer and she didn't really talk much about what the book will be about and what the plot is, so I don't know if it's going to be dog romance or just sports romance or dog sports romance. I don't know what it's gonna be. But she said that it was going to be a football, or in promotional material she would say soccer, so all of the dummy Americans, peace and love to the Americans, know that it's about not American football. Which is like so stupid. Peace and love, this is an argument that we're not gonna start today because this is not what the book is about and we don't have that much time. We do actually, I don't have, well, and don't tell my dad, I'm studying of course right now. But if I don't say American football, I don't mean American football, you know what I mean? They're just too lazy to always say American football, and so they say football and then they automatically assume it's American football, but I'm talking about football with the fucking ball in your fucking feet. The fact that there had to be like a whole new word invented for that is just silly in my opinion. Peace and love, peace and love. More specifically, she's writing about the British Premier League. I do know a thing or two about the Premier League. I actively follow it actually, guys. Fun fact about me. Guess my favorite team in the comments. You will never guess. So I'm excited to see how she will write about it. That's what I'm trying to say. So I might read it when it comes out, if you guys want me to, just to see how an American writes about it. And peace and love, like, I'm not British either, so that you could use the same argument. But then again, like, I truly think that Americans know very little about football. The real football. Sorry, I mean that with peace and love. Everybody can have hobbies, but it's just like, it's just not that big over there. You know what I mean? And so I want to know what she writes about and what team she writes about and what it's going to be about. And then maybe I'll make my boyfriend read it too. And then we'll do a review together in German. It's getting crazy. The plot is getting thicker. That being said, as I mentioned, there's no real drama around Anna Huang. She seems like a really sweet person and I'm excited to read her new book. I'm trying for like a new thing this year. Like a little bit more love. But that being said, I did give this book, Twisted Love, a 1-star rating because it's really fucking bad. So bad that I thought it was her first book and this is the book that made her famous, but that's not true. She wrote an entire different series before this, so that's that. I gave it 1 star and my review was Alex Volkov, which is the main love interest, is an Andrew Tate stan, which explains my sign in the back that says Alpha Men Fanfic. And I wanted to write conservative fanfic, but that didn't fit on the sign. And that I think is the vibe with most of the dark romance books. They just give off very like, ooga ooga, man protect woman, is rich, woman doesn't have to do anything, ooga ooga. And you know, peace and love, if that's what you're into, that's great. But it takes weird extents with books like Haunting Adeline, in my opinion. I gave it 1 star. It has 700,000 ratings on Goodreads, and it has a 3.74 average, so not even a 4-star. People don't like it that much. From what I know, people like the second book in this series better, and they're all standalones, but the characters all connect with one another. They all know each other, so I'm not gonna read it, guys. I don't even know what it's called. Twisted Hate or something. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. I want to be a good YouTuber. I'm gonna look it up. Oh, and also this book came out in 2021 and it doesn't have that many pages and it's free on Kindle Unlimited if you want to read it, because so many people buy it, and that's fine if you want to buy it, but I'm just telling you, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can literally get it for free. Twisted Games is the second one and people like that better. It has a 4-star, above 4-star average. Let me just, out of fun, look up all of them. Okay, the third one also has 4 stars, but a little less 4 stars. I just think the covers are so ugly. Oh my god, the last one has the best ratings, but I think also the least amount of people read that one. I don't even know if you need to read them in order, or if you can just read them however you want, because as I just said, they're all standalones. The characters interconnect, but they're about different characters. Maybe you can read it in whatever order you want. I just read it because I have Kindle Unlimited and it was free, guys. I'm a cheap girl. That being said, guys, enough yapping. Enough yapping. Let's get into it. I finished this book on the 22nd of December or something, and now it's the 12th of January, so you can bet your ass that I struggle to remember. We start off with the main character, the main 2 characters meeting each other. They've already known each other, but they kind of hit it off from here. She's a dummy that's late for her, the main character. I don't remember her name. We'll find out soon, I guess. I genuinely don't remember. She's late for her brother's goodbye party because he's going somewhere and saying goodbye. It's raining outside and there are no buses, no trains. She's in America, there are no trains. There's no Uber. She's stranded. She calls her brother, she goes, "Hey, I can't make it. Can you pick me up? I'm soaking wet." He's like, "Okay, I'll send someone." And he sends his hottest, most desirable bachelor no, it's not his boyfriend. Would make the book better. He sends his best friend, and he is Alex Volkov, the Andrew Tate stan. He is so hot. He has a chiseled jaw. You just have to look at the non-discrete cover, because there is a discrete cover and there's a non-discrete cover, and you know exactly what this man means. Business. He is a businessman. He is rich. He is sexy, and he is really fucking boring. To underline to you guys how hot and sexy he is, of course I have some things marked to prove this. I have 6% left on my Kindle. This is not gonna be enough. Never be enough. 3%? I've been on this Kindle for 2 fucking seconds. All I knew was, oh yeah, we get a lot of expose in the beginning. All I knew was Alex's parents had died when he was young and left him a pile of money he quadrupled the value of when he came into his inheritance at age 18. Not that he needed it, because he'd invented a new financial modeling software in high school that made him a multi-millionaire before he could vote. With an IQ of 160, Alex Volkov was a genius or close to it. How does she know this about him, is what I wonder. He was the only person in Thayer's history, which is the college, to complete its 5-year joint undergrad MBA program in 3 years. And I do not care about this because I'm German and those words mean nothing to me. And at age 26, he was the COO of one of the most successful real estate development companies in the country. He was a legend and he knew it. He's a legend. He is an absolute legend. People are writing literally like stories about him. Like everybody knows who he is in America. Huh? He's hot, rich, and sexy. He fucks, basically. And he also doesn't have any parents, which makes this book easier. And her parents are bitches. I think her mom's dead. I thought that the dynamic between them was not well written. They obviously start fucking because they think the other one is hot. But at the end of the day, they've known each other for years because she has an older brother and he is her older brother's friend. And it's unclear how their dynamic was in the past. She's always like, oh, he's cold, he was an asshole, but now we're in her POV and she keeps thinking, wow, he's so sexy, he's so hot. But I don't want to fuck him, but he's so sexy, she's thirsting over him, she's literally drooling, but she doesn't want to fuck him. For what reason? Why don't you want to fuck him? Get with him, girl. I don't know, I just felt like it was really confusing. It wasn't well done if they've known each other for years. I just didn't buy it. You know, why all of a sudden it changes? We'll get to it why, but I just don't buy it. I'm not happy with it. Alex's fingers curled around the steering wheel, and my wild hormonal mind latched onto how beautiful they were. Ugh, that might sound crazy, but who has beautiful fingers? But he did. Physically, everything about him was beautiful. The jade green and eyes that glared out from beneath the dark brows like chips. Ah, never mind. You have to continue reading. And I was like, freaking chips? What kind? Barbecue? Like chips honed from a glacier, the sharp jawline and elegant sculpted cheekbones, the lean frame and thick light brown hair that somehow looked both tousled and perfectly coiffed. He resembled a statue in an Italian museum come to life. But you don't want to fuck him. But you're thinking about him this way. I don't think about people that way. Trust me, I was not staring at your breast, he said. You're not my type, even if you weren't Josh's sister. And then she goes, I wasn't interested in Alex either after this whole monologue that I just read out to you guys. But no girls enjoy being dismissed so easily by a member of the opposite sex. I'm sure it would also hurt just as much if he was an ugly fatty, right? What kind of line is that? That just kind of drives home the point of, this is like conservative fanfic, because we don't think like that anymore. Right? This is dual POV, thank God. And so then we get his reveal of like, I was looking at her boobies. Men. This book was also very unpredictable in the sense that the lines, sometimes for me, came out of nowhere. Where the characters would start talking about like sexual stuff and there was no precursor to it. Is that how you say it? I don't know, guys. I haven't spoken English in a very long time. Except at the hairdressers, because the hairdresser that cut my hair, she didn't speak German. And I think in dark romance books, men are also written a certain way where it's not what people like to say, men written by women, in like a sweet, I don't know how to say it, like a sweet, caring, nurturing type of man, but they're just writing like the most volatile, disgusting, sex-obsessed men. And that's just not something that I'm into reading. But you know what, guys? I did give it a shot, okay? I sat down, I read 3 dark romance books, and I realized it's not for me. And you gotta give it a shot to realize that. 3 chances, okay? And they didn't hit. Because the first chapter is in the girl's POV. Her name is Ava, by the way. Giving your two main characters the same first letter name is definitely a choice. That's something that I think editors advise you against. But anyway, who am I to speak? Oh, I didn't give a disclaimer, guys. By the way, if you're watching this and you're like, who the fuck is this girl? I don't have any credentials. I'm just doing this because I'm a hater. That being said, if you like this book, that's great for you. Okay, I'm not attacking you personally. I don't care what you like. I like things that you don't like. This is just for fun. I'm just making fun. Like, I'm not genuinely mad. Once this video is over, I'll never think about this book again. We get the dude's perspective next. They're now at the goodbye party for her brother, and there's a hot blonde woman trying to seduce him. And this is what the dude is thinking. You can't handle what I'm into. Despite her short, tight dress and suggestive words, she looked the type who expected sweet nothings and love making in bed. I didn't do sweet nothings or love making. He is Christian Grey. He does not make love, he fucks. I fucked a certain way, and only a specific type of woman was into that shit. Not hardcore BDSM, but not soft. No kissing, no face-to-face contact. Maybe you should try men then. Literally nobody asked. And he tells me this. It's like, I didn't ask you and I did not care. Also something I just don't know fuck with in romances. The whole tropification of romance is something that is not my thing. Guys, what is my thing? Let's try to find my thing this year. But I mean it in the sense that this book literally says twisted love, a grumpy sunshine romance. And then the dude says the line, Josh's little sister was so sweet and sunshiny all the time. And this is not the only time he says this in the book. I just feel like they think we're fucking stupid. Do you need to spell it out to me? Do you need to spell it out to me? Do you need to make sure that I know this is grumpy sunshine? Do you think I'm fucking dumb? A lot of romance writers make me feel like they don't trust their readers to read in between the lines and to like think of things themselves. Ugh. And this is all coming back to me. Again, I posted a reading vlog where I read this and I was just giggling the whole time. I'll link it down below, guys, go watch it. I wrote down in my notes, see now you're losing me. And it's for the line, men, my gender could use a little more standards and a little less thinking with their small heads. No man thinks like that about themselves, and especially not Alex Volkov. He thinks he's better than other people because he has an IQ of 160. The reason it's an IQ of 160 is because that is like the highest you can go, because everything above that becomes a little bit murky because there's not enough people that go above 160 where it's like accurately measurable. Like you can guess, you can estimate around it, but it's not accurate 100% anymore. He could be doing something good with his life, but he instead chose to fuck his best friend's sister multiple times. And I also have to say, with what I just mentioned with, I think that they don't trust readers to like guess things themselves or understand things themselves. The subplot of this book, of course the main thing is the romance, but the subplot is that someone killed his entire family and the only person still alive is his uncle, right? And they have the company together where he's the COO and his uncle is the CEO. And so at this farewell party in chapter 2, he gets an ominous phone call from his uncle where he goes, did you do the job? Is the job done? Or he goes like, have you solved the issue? It's very random, like in the middle of the party, it's like, I don't know, 1 AM. He's like, have you solved the issue? Like, old man, go to fucking bed. Get your good night's sleep. Like, no, I did not kill the dude yet. And you know you would be the first person I would call because you're my uncle and you're in this together. Why the fuck are you calling me? So he's on this quest to avenge his entire family, but we do not get this explicitly explained to us until I think later in the book, like a few more chapters, and then you get explained like he called because he wants him to kill the dude that killed his family. And it's like, we knew. I don't know how to say this without being mean. It's just very predictable. It's very predictable. The entire book is. That's okay. Some people are into that, I'm not. Overall, I was happy with how I looked, but as a member of the itty bitty titty committee, ironically, Jules sometimes complained about her double Ds, saying they were hard on her back. There should be a Venmo for breasts that allows women to send and receive cup sizes with the press of a button. She doesn't talk about her boobies again. It's only in this moment, so we know she has small tits. And so we know her friend has big tits because there's also a book in this series about her friend. So we already know what to expect. A big titty book. I just cannot take books seriously that talk like this. I'm sorry, I don't even know what I expect instead, but like writing itty bitty titty committee in your book is just like, okay, on to the next. So the dude, the brother, right? I'm sure that he gets one of the friends in a different book. I didn't look into it that hard. I just know the second book is about the friend who's a princess from a random European country, and her bodyguard. And people are really into the bodyguard because his name is Reese. And if you want a successful book, you should just name your main character Reese. He leaves for wherever he's going, somewhere to, I don't even know what the brother does, I forgot. And to protect Ava, the girlie, from literally nothing, they decide that it would be best if the hot man Alex moves into the house that's right next to Ava's house on campus. Doesn't matter where the house is. Maybe it's also just, no, it's a house. Maybe it's an apartment, I think it's a house. Anyway, doesn't matter what the vicinity is or what the vicinity? What the fuck does that word mean? It just matters that he moves in right next door where her brother was living to house sit basically and to have an eye on Ava. I don't know why we're being so dramatic. There is an ex of hers that cannot really deal with their breakup, and he does make moves on her, and then unconsensual moves, and then the dude comes, Alex, the hot dude, Andrew Tate comes and beats, let's just say Andrew Tate, honestly, like fuck it. Andrew Tate comes and beats the ex-boyfriend up, and then he never comes up again. So right now, she is hanging out with a dude because she is a photography student. And she agreed with this dude to take lingerie photos? I don't know. And he realizes that Ava isn't home, and then he freaks out. And it's like, can she not leave the house? I don't know. I just didn't understand. And I still don't understand why we're being so dramatic about a woman in her 20s leaving her house. Why? Does she need someone with her all the time? Literally just because there's an ex-boyfriend that can't get over the breakup and they're afraid that he'll murder her? For what reason? Did he murder someone in the past? What's the reasoning here? Anyway, he finds out where she is and goes to the house, and this is how it goes. Where's Ava? She's upstairs, but who? Hey, you can't go up there, he yelled. They're in the middle of something. Fuck that. If Ava was having sex? A dangerous rhythm pulsed behind my temple at the thought. That was all the more reason for an interruption. Why? Horny college guys were some of the most dangerous creatures in existence? But, huh? He interrupts the shoot. He says, what were you thinking? If you take sexy hot photos of yourself for his portfolio, then these will ruin your life forever. If you want to apply for a job and there's pictures of you in lingerie, you will not get the job. Okay. Andrew Tate saves her, and then I don't know what happens next, but I have an amazing line for you. Living proof that skinniness does not equal fitness. No one has ever thought this. Who thinks this? Who thinks that just because someone's skinny means they're fit? As I mentioned, all her friends get spin-off books. That's why they get explicitly described, and also like really weirdly, that in a way that if you didn't know that they were getting books, it would catch you off guard. And it caught me off guard when I read it, because I thought, why are we describing their boobies and asses and shit like that? Like, why do I care about the body type of, or not the body type, but just like the booby size of her friends? Why do I care? Because we're getting spin-off books, and especially in romance, apparently it's important what your boob size is. Sorry, I think it's called cup size, right? Sorry, I don't mean boob size. All her friends are allegedly super hot, so if you want to read about someone with big boobies, you should read the Jules book, whichever one that is, because she's the one with the biggest. And if you want to read about someone who's super ugly in comparison to their friends, you should read this book, because by the way she's describing it, she's literally like the ugliest fucking bitch alive. We now get the reveal 20% in that his family was killed and he witnessed this, and then his uncle took him in and raised him, and he told his uncle at 11 years old, "What I want, uncle," I said, my voice still registering the clear high pitch of a boy who had not yet hit puberty, "is revenge." And I mean this with peace and love. I don't think any 11-year-old thinks like this. What I want is revenge? Huh? I don't even know if I knew the word revenge at 11. Then we get a very odd subplot in the middle of the book for a couple of chapters. I feel like she was really just trying to fill the void of the story, because she just wanted them to start fucking. Like, she didn't have a plan for how they would get there necessarily, because she didn't think, like, I mean this with peace and love, Anna, you seem really sweet, but did you have an idea how that was gonna happen? I don't think so. Because what she does is she makes the characters come up with a plan to make Alex, Andrew Tate, feel something, because he just seems like such a cold person that never exudes any emotion. He doesn't ever laugh, he doesn't ever show even disgust or anything. So they say, oh my god, Ava, he left in your presence. You should try to make him feel all types of emotions. That's the plan. And it's so stupidly done. It doesn't have any relevance for later on. It's literally just for this middle part of the book. And she has to make him feel these emotions and then report on it, whether she succeeded or not. And she could literally just lie. None of her friends are present. They're like, okay, next emotion is disgust. And then she goes and bakes really disgusting muffins and gives them to him in private in his house. And he eats them. He doesn't show disgust. He's just like, okay, did you make these? She's like, yeah. And he's like, okay. All right. And she's like, you don't think they're disgusting? It's like, she could just lie to her friend. What is this plan? What is this plot? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I just feel like that's so mean. Like, they're just using him because they want to see him show emotions. It just doesn't make any sense. There's no point to this at all. It's a case of you could really tell that the author wanted to get from point A to point B and didn't know how. And she just wanted to write certain scenes really badly and had to fill the void somehow. Kind of like with Night Bane by Alex Esther. There's a review on my channel, guys. I review all the books. I have something to say about everything. I still own DVDs the way I still owned paperback books is a line that I don't get. What do paperback books have to do with anything? Most of the books on my shelf are paperback because they're outdated. Or what? Who prefers hardcover over paperback for reading, like physically holding them in your hands, not just putting them on your shelf? I don't get that. Also, a reason I cannot take most of these books seriously, actually all of them, in romance or dark romance, doesn't matter, just in contemporary, is because they do too much. They do too much. The main characters do too much. In the sense that the dude, he is just a dude. He's just a random dude. There is nothing that warrants her being this die hard for him. Don't even know if that's making sense, but it's just that there's no sense to it, in my opinion. Like, he has not done anything great. He's not cured cancer. He literally just has he's just a capitalist pig. No, I just made that up. I don't know what he does. He has a financial company. I don't know what that means. The reason I'm saying this is because we have this line. I yelped when he grabbed my arm and spun me around until I straddled one of his legs. My blood roared in my ears as he tightened his grip on my wrist. Not enough to hurt me, but enough to warn me he could easily break me if he wanted. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't see him work out once. He doesn't go to the gym. Their dialogue is just so random. My mind flashed back to earlier in the night. Her skin had turned the prettiest shade of red when I made my dripping comment. And while I joked about her bleeding hard, a part of me, a very large part, had wanted to bend her over my knee, yank up her skirt, and find out just how wet she was. Men. Ugh. This just gives me the ick. Romance men just give me the ick. I just cannot take men seriously. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this dude has a really intense memory. He says what it's called, but he remembers every single thing that ever happened in his life, which is why he wants to avenge his family so bad, because he explicitly remembers that his family was killed in front of him. Also, this dude exclusively wears polo shirts, and so right now, after her mission to make him cry, she just showed him sad movies and he didn't cry. And she fell asleep on the couch while watching the movies, and he carries her into his bed, and instead of sleeping on the couch, he decides to sleep in the bed with her, which I never understand. When there's a couch, why they're like, ugh, I have to sleep in the bed with her. It's like, there's a fucking couch. Sleep on there. And he's always wearing polo shirts. And then we get the line, instead I changed into a pair of black sweats, flicked off the light, and climbed onto the other side of the bed. He's keeping on the polo to sleep in. He's always ready for business. He's always ready for his uncle to call him and be like, did you kill the dude? Did you fucking kill him? Anyway, thankfully he remembers every single thing that ever happened in his life, because that's how we get flashbacks to his family being killed, how he met Josh, just like random backstory expose that we don't give a fuck about. This is a standalone, bitch. Make them fuck. He remembers the first time he ever met Ava, and in describing her, really excitingly, Mrs. Anna Huang, because Peace and Love, like her writing, not that good. It's not that good, prose-wise. Not that I could do it better, okay? People always think when I say that I could do it better. No. But also I'm not publishing books. She uses the word delicate twice on one page to describe Ava, which I think is a choice that also made me believe this was her first book, because you don't do that. There are so many different words that you could use, and you decide to use the same one twice. With her rosebud lips and delicate face, she resembled a doll. And then a few lines down we get, I finally shook her hand. It was tiny and delicate, and I couldn't help thinking how easy it would be to crush it. She's so petite. Oh my god. She's so petite. That you just don't do that, guys. You just don't write like that. Sorry. Sorry. This scene is my favorite one out of the entire book because it just screams America. They're sleeping beside each other in the bed, okay? And they both have trauma. His family was killed in front of him and she was almost drowned as a child. And so she gets a lot of nightmares of that period when she was almost drowned because she lost all memories about her childhood in result of this drowning, almost drowning. And she wakes up in the middle of the night and she starts screaming, stop, no, help. And he's sleeping next to her. So the next line is, 5 seconds later, I turned on the bedside lamp and was out of bed, gun in hand. I always kept a firearm by my side. And I'd installed a new top-of-the-line security system right after I moved in. His first intention is to grab the Glock in his bedside table to shoot someone. So I would say Anna Huang is pro-gun. No, I'm take it back. I don't want to make any assumptions. You're American, you can't know better. Operation Emotion, Face Happiness. This is how she always starts the chapters, and obviously none of them work, guys, and I still don't understand what, 28% and still don't understand why we're doing this. Thinking about what she could do to evoke the emotion happiness in him, she goes through certain things and then goes to love question mark and then she goes LOL okay. It says lol okay in the fucking book. Don't write like that, girly pop. It dates your book terribly. And then underneath, of course, I have to address it. It says Jules suggested a blowjob, which fell under sex and which I vetoed. Thank God. She does end up giving him a birthday kiss. So this is their first kiss, 43% in. I wasn't romanticizing you. This is. Before I could lose my nerve, I stood on tiptoes and kissed him. And then he kisses her back and then he breaks the kiss and he's like, don't kiss me. You don't know what I've done. I'm an evil man. You know how men are. But now, of course, there's a spark between them and this spark cannot be denied. Oh yeah, this line, this is amazing. So they're making out in the kitchen. And before he breaks off and is like, you can't be with me, I'm terrible, what the hell were you thinking, blah, blah, blah. They're making out and, or she kisses him, wait, okay, let me order my thoughts. She gives him a peck on the lips like this, like Josh Peck. Fuck that man, I fucking hate Josh Peck, guys. No particular reason, I just think he can't act. I gasped when Alex yanked me toward him and deepened the kiss. His hand fisted my hair and tugged, forcing my back to arch while his tongue plundered my mouth. And then he goes, not the romance you were thinking of, is it? They're just making out. They're just kissing. Not the romance you were thinking of, huh? I don't know what Anna Huang was thinking writing him like this, like someone who's into really hardcore sex or something, but not too hardcore, because this is not anything hardcore. This is very vanilla. And because he's rich, he comes over after they kissed 5 days later and he's like, you haven't texted me in 5 days, here's a new phone. And she's like, why the fuck did you get me a new phone? He's like, you didn't text me in 5 days, I think your phone's broken, right? It's like, oh my god, he's so hot and sexy and I want a man to provide for me. I want him to buy me everything. I wish I had Christian Grey as my boyfriend. Don't tell my boyfriend. Anyway, I love America and I love reading about American books that are just like so plainly American. The confusion lingered for a beat before it melted into a teasing expression, and my heart kicked like a damn roquette at Radio City Music Hall. What the fuck does that mean? You know, we don't give a fuck about the roquettes outside of America. I don't only know that they do like this. They do like this. Wait, I'll show you. They do like this. They do like a silly little falling. I know that they do that because I saw it on TikTok and I was like, okay. What the fuck is this? It's like, and there's maybe like a cultural significance to it, but it's just a video of them standing in a line and slowly falling. And then they applaud and then it's over, but then you have to get back up. Is that not kind of like, embarrassing? Anyway, guys, I know what we've all been working towards in this 1 hour review already. It's so long, guys. I'll speed it up, okay? But there's nothing much that happens anymore. There actually is. You won't guess how this book goes, but they finally fuck. So let's read the sex scene. There was very little sex in this book, which I didn't expect, but the other books that I read kind of made up for that, Hooked and Haunting Adeline, and now I can't wait to read the Sarah J Maas book that also has sex in it. I'm really excited to read a book that just does not have, that only has like pegging. Like I need a little break. Another reason why I think this stands is because there are certain lines that just give this vibe off, in my opinion. Does this feel like I don't want to? He grasped my hand and pulled it down until it rested on the most masculine part of him. His penis. Saying that feels kind of like not exclusive. It feels like she's excluding and exclusive. That's not the same word. That's not the same word. It feels like she's excluding some people by saying that the penis is the most masculine part. I don't know. I don't want to go there, but I think you get what I mean. By the way, he's like a multi-millionaire, as we mentioned, but he never works. And he never goes to the gym. He never does anything besides follow this woman around. Oh my god, I forgot. With her doe eyes and innocent features, she resembled a sacrificial virgin awaiting defilement. My cock throbbed harder. Why are men always into virgins? Ugh! Men give me the fucking ick! He's in love if you're a man watching this, okay? Like, that, you know, love you. You are so very wet, my beautiful whore. I licked her glistening juices off her skin, savoring the taste and the delicate female scent that drove every man crazy. How do you know about that, Anna Huang? What the fuck? How did you even come up with that? I am so confused about this entire... The sex scenes were very not conservative, that's not the right word. I don't know why I keep using it. But very like alpha male movement, like... I don't know. Okay, the camera is dying, guys. When you see me again, I won't be looking like this. It's gonna be a jump scare, but let me just read out one last sex scene moment. I want you to walk around with my cum on you so you know exactly who you belong to. Wipe it off. That shit fucking reeks. I bet. I don't think he eats clean because I don't know, because he never does it. Allegedly he does, but he doesn't fucking do anything in this book to prove it. Love you guys. Don't get scared when you see me again. I won't be looking like this. My skin is so bad, but I have the beauty filter on. By the way, the last scene that I just read out to you, the last line, they're doing it in a public bathroom. And we all know how much I hate that. They have sex for the first time. I think it's in a hotel room. I have to say, the books that I read during this time, and I read for 24 hours, guys, okay? They kind of blur together. So I think that was the one where they fuck for the first time in a hotel room, and then they stay in that room for a couple of days just having sex. And then they get out and they have like sex in the public bathroom, but all the sex scenes that follow after this are not as exciting. Everything in the end also happens really quickly and very... The plot gets sped up a lot. So, as I mentioned earlier, the main character, Ava, she does not have any recollection from her childhood because she was almost drowned. And she keeps having memory flashes or nightmares, and they're actually memories of the day she almost drowned. For her whole life after this, she thought it was her mom who tried to kill her, and her dad came out and saved her, and then they got a divorce, and her mom died because of... I don't remember why she died. I don't remember. But then she was raised by her dad, but her dad is very absent. He's like a businessman. What? A businessman? What? Over Thanksgiving, I love Thanksgiving in books because, again, I love America. Meaning her and her newfound boyfriend, Andrew Tate, go to her dad's house to have Thanksgiving with him. During this stay, more of her forgotten memories are uncovered, and she figures out that her sussy dad, who seems to not really care about her, was actually the one that tried to kill her in the lake. Because she's not his daughter. Because her mom cheated on her dad. That's not her dad. Seems to be a common plot that the parent is evil. Or like a parental figure is evil. And they're in business when it comes to dark romance. That being said, she remembers all of this, right? This is like actually what happened. She also remembers that her dad like beat her up or something. I don't exactly remember. She remembers, I don't remember. And that he then was like, oh, she just got hurt on the playground, blah, blah, blah. And she then tricks him into coming into Andrew Tate's office. This is the first time we're in the office. He's not doing any work. And it's all wired. And it's all being video recorded, and she gets him to confess that it was actually him that tried to kill her and that all of her memories are like coming back and he was a horrible dad and blah blah blah. Michael's face remained anguished for several more seconds before it twisted and morphed into a hideous mask. His eyes gleamed with delighted malice and his mouth spread into a mocking smile. And then it's like the dad all of a sudden is like a super villain and he's like, yes, I almost got you, but of course I tried to drown you because you are the illegitimate child of your mom. So it's very like cartoonish in my opinion. Like it's a good plot idea, I think. Like I don't have anything to say about the idea of it, but just the way it's executed is like, it's very cringe and very just cartoonish. So then everything, this is by the end of the book, right? Which we're 74% done now. You're gonna ask me, what was the plot of this book? Nothing, guys. There was like really nothing. Of course we know that dude, Andrew Tate, wanted to kill the dude that killed his family, and because we only know of 2 businessmen, we also can guess that the businessman that killed his family is Ava's dad, who's not her dad. So the reason Andrew Tate tried to get into her life, or more predominantly her brother's life, becoming friends with him and so on, was because he wanted to infiltrate them from within to then go ahead and kill the dad. But because he confessed to a literal crime of trying to kill his own child, because at the end of the day, he's signed in as the dad, you know, that's your child. He is now going to prison without him having to do much more, okay? And so we realize with Andrew Tate at some point that it wasn't even Ava's dad who killed his family, but instead it was his evil uncle. Okay? This is the reason I don't like standalones, and this is just my personal grudge with them, obviously. Like, to each their own. If people enjoy this, that's completely fine. It's just the genre itself that, or not, is a standalone a genre? What is a standalone? Just the order of books? I don't really like it because you get introduced to a secluded cast of characters, and it's very obvious that when there's like intrigue going on, that it's gotta be one of the characters we know that is involved. So all of these plot twists and turns, like her dad being evil and trying to kill her, it was hinted at the whole time, okay? And then his uncle being evil was also hinted at, because why the fuck would we care about the sussy uncle otherwise? If he wasn't the one who tried to kill the family to inherit the money. You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden, he's talking to his uncle and he's like, I have realized you are the evil man and not Ava's dad, who he is evil because he tried to drown her, but like I thought he killed my family, but you killed my family. And then all of a sudden we get this line, dragging 2 bound and gagged girls behind him, Ava and Bridget. Bridget is the princess friend who the next book is about. Okay, so the uncle kidnapped Ava and Bridget, and now they are in his office or house. I don't think they're in the office. They're in the uncle's house, and they're kidnapped. Okay, of course they get saved. The hot bodyguard of the princess friend comes in, who is then her love interest in the next book. She gets saved. Both get saved. Both the girls get saved. Then this is the first time he kills someone. Andrew Tate shoots his uncle. He shoots his uncle. He kills his uncle. Then he apparently knows everyone in the FBI, the CIA, the MI6, and the, I don't even know what else there is. He intercepted the 911 call that Ava made when she got out to call the police, and then his friends pretended to be police officers and came to the apartment, and he burned down the apartment with his dead uncle inside, so there would be no evidence of him being a murderer. I don't really know. I don't know. Like, all of a sudden happens. You have to imagine there was nothing like sussy, or not sussy, but like nothing dark romance-ish going on. And I thought this was dark romance. Maybe this isn't even classified as dark romance, you know? But that's what was my understanding of it. I just thought there was going to be more blood and more killing and more like dark things. And then the only thing that really happens is this in the end. It kind of all explodes in the end, and that's it. That's the whole, and it just didn't feel like, anyway, it just didn't feel very satisfying in the end, because we weren't really building up to this. I mean, she was trying to. She was definitely trying to, with like his uncle calling him, being like, did you get the job done, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what just happened. And that is how the book ends. Just kidding. The book ends in a way that you wouldn't think. Normally, the way these books end is she's like, thank you for saving me, I love you, have my baby, and then there's like a pregnancy in the end. But no, that's not where we're going. They break up. They break up, and we have like last chapter, epilogue, whatever the fuck it is, and she decides to move to London because she's a photography student, as remember, even though she never visits any classes. She starts attending some college in London, either for a fresh start or for a semester. I don't really know. Honestly, this whole end is kind of mushy in my head. I just said mushy. But she's broken up with Andrew Tate. Luckily, he's crazy. And he hears about her moving to London because Bridget, the princess friend, comes in and she's like, she's moving to London. And then he's like, no, and he tries to catch the plane, but he's too late because of something, and then he can't catch her in her plane. And I think he then proceeds like a few months after to still follow her to London, and she's like, don't you have a business to run? You're the CEO of the company. He's not the COO anymore because his uncle is fucking dead. He's the CEO. He says, no, I have enough money. I retired and I'm here in London. And she's like, okay, what are you here in London to do? And he says, hang out with you. Sorry? Men need hobbies. He does not have any fucking hobbies. Genuinely, the plot is that for a year or so, he follows her around London. He picks her up in the morning, brings her to school, picks her up after school, brings her back home. Doesn't go inside the house for like the first couple of months. He has like his own place. He's not allowed inside. And then they start becoming friends. And then at the end, she has like an art gallery at the end of the year. And he buys the entire art gallery. Not just the pictures of hers, he just the entire fucking gallery. No, I don't know. He buys the pictures definitely, and then he's like, everybody get out, and then everybody gets out and they fuck in front of the paintings, and that's how the book ends. Love always wins, guys. Love always wins, no matter what. If he follows you around London without a job or a hobby for a year, you know, who doesn't want that? He's literally homeless. I don't know, you know, this whole thing wouldn't have happened if he were ugly. What I was supposed to tell you guys, this book was so pointless. I just think it's so sad that we, as a reader community, what the fuck am I saying? That us readers, we don't get any genuine romance books anymore. I feel like, you know, I've read so many romance books now. I've never been a romance girly. If you've watched my channel for a little bit longer, you would know. If not, then you know now. I've never been a romance girly, and I always give it a chance. I always try different things. Now I try dark romance, but the only thing that I can take away from these books is that the main characters are always just in love with each other because they think each other is hot. They are just physically attracted to one another. There's never any connection, any like spark between them. This dude was literally her brother's best friend for years, and there was never any spark between them. There was no like, you know, no spark between them, no tension between them, no nothing. There was nothing. I'm so upset about that, and I literally can't see you guys. I can't see you guys. Don't get a fucking fringe. So guys, what did you think about this book? Did you read it? Maybe the other books get better. I don't know, and I don't want to know. I don't know when the next video is coming, guys. It's going to be a review again, don't worry. I have some up my sleeve, as I mentioned. My next exam is on Tuesday. It's currently Sunday. Oh, I should be studying. But I'm here, okay, guys? I'm coming back. I'm sorry. I'll be back soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give it a thumbs up. A like, if you will. You can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on TikTok, you can follow me on YouTube, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Thank you again to all of my members. I hope you stay happy, you stay healthy. Peace and love, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.